To me, acting is my therapy. Acting allows me to basically deal with things I usually hide behind a smile. From any traumatizing situation I probably hid as a kid to things I'm going through now. So it basically allows me to get free therapy in front of everyone while masking it in a script. And it saves me money from going to a psychiatrist. So. And that's acting is to me is my therapy.
Acting is my liberation. I feel like I grew up as an only child, so I've always been a character. I've always wanted to be a part of what other people are doing because it was always just me. So I would just have all these different characters I would do. I feel like I grew up in the television age where I watched TV a lot, like stuck in front of a TV, and I'm like, I can do that voice. I can be on that show, and it's just always stuck with me. So now it's just a freeing thing to be able to go back to what I've always wanted to do in my childhood. I feel like I've always wanted to be an actress. It's never not been a part of me, and now that I am able to, it's all that I want to do all the time. Acting is my liberation.
Acting is my passion because it's very healing for me. I found that from a very, very early age, I love everything about storytelling, writing and drawing. 5 years old, I'm in class from that point to high school, just head in the clouds. I'm on a whole different planet. But I realized that the older that I got, the colder that the world got around me. And so I got to a point to where I kind of sheltered myself off and it affected my art. But the older that I got and the more I've dived into the craft of acting and even doing music, but just storytelling in general, it allowed me to understand that I can't shelter myself off from the world because what I'm doing has a very healing component to not only myself, but to those around me. So it would be very selfish of me to do that. Growing in this craft and in my art has given me the appreciation of sharing that with people, and I would be dead wrong if I didn't. So acting is not only very healing for me, but it's also something that I've learned that I love to share with those around me, and hopefully it can be healing for them as well. That's what acting is for me. That's what my passion is.
Acting is my ministry. I feel like anything that's placed in your heart, I feel like is given by God, and you use that as your ministry to reach out to other people, and acting is that for me. I love to inspire people. I love speaking and telling stories and speaking for voices who can't speak for themselves. Acting it's an escape. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about the human experience, and it can be very rewarding and very fulfilling to those who watch. I get just as inspired from watching great performances as some people may get inspired by watching me. So that is why acting is my ministry.
Acting is my haven. I was always the one who was not necessarily understood in the group of my friends, and I didn't necessarily fit in. I remember my first real acting class in college, and I was like, look at all these weird people and these awkward people, they're just like me. And I just felt like I was at home. And I've always been able to express myself best when I'm acting. It's about self-discovery, and it's about helping people, which I've always wanted to do. And through different characters, you can reach someone else, and you can tell someone else a story that they may not be able to tell for themselves. And so, yeah, so that's why acting is my haven.
Acting is my addiction. Acting is the monkey on my back, the thing that constantly knacks at my brain throughout the day, something that I wake up thinking about and I go to sleep thinking about. It's in my dreams, it's in my thoughts, it motivates my family, it motivates my life. In all things that you should get is understanding. I feel like acting teaches understanding. Like biblically, we're taught to learn wisdom and be wise. And I feel like in acting, I learn how to understand people, and it gives me the key to their hearts. So I think acting for me, it's everything, but it could also be nothing because it's not as important as we make it seem sometimes. So it means the world to me, but at the same time, it means just the bare basis of life, which is just connecting with people. So acting is definitely my addiction, maybe. Yeah.
Acting is my savior. I'm from a city and place where you don't really know actors or see any film being made. So when I say acting is my savior, it saved me. I don't see myself doing anything besides acting. If I wasn't acting, only Lord knows where I'd be. And before I was acting, I was getting involved into a lot of things and had some trials and tribulations in my life. But acting is something that brings me out of my shell. I'm able to express my emotions through whatever character I'm portraying. And man, it's just saved me. It just saved me. It brought me to being the Christian I am today. And if it wasn't for acting, I'd be dead or in jail or anything. So that's why acting is my savior.
Acting to me is something that is transformative, both in its effects on me and the entity of acting itself, you know? So I feel when I first started acting, the reasoning was to escape. I needed a way to disconnect or disassociate with the things that I didn't like, whether about myself or my environment, my surroundings, and acting provided that because when you step into another character and when you feel that energy from your audience, everything fades to black. And as I've continued in this craft, it's become a way to face some very difficult truths about myself. And then you ask yourself, really, what is truth? There is only one universal truth. That's truth, right? So there you go. Acting allows you to come in the realm of that truth, your truth. And so I think that when you look at what is acting, I can't say that acting is one specific thing because it transforms you as a person and it transforms its intent or its meaning to you. So that's why acting to me is transformative.